Hello my friends, welcome back. In this video, I promise it's gonna be exciting. All you need to do is sit back, pay attention and focus. If you do have any questions, if you want more clarity, if you have concerns or recommendations or suggestions, make sure to make me aware and I'll be sure to respond. Right. In this video, we're going to talk about using Azure Functions to activate routes. So there's a part of Azure Functions that's activating routes. I'm sure you're wondering, what on earth am I up to? Good. Let's get into it. Right. So Visual Studio, it's currently running. I've opened the solution. We're going to focus on this project for the very first time. Like I said, I move randomly. So this will not be one of those random topics that I cover. So Azure Functions, covered issue underscore Azure Functions. If I open, it's a typical Azure Function project, right? So then I do have Azure Function portal, or the Azure portal opening Azure Function, right? I'll come back to it. And then when I talk about these routes, what are these routes, right? So let's go to pickups. I'm sure this is the very first time where you see pickups, right? Because a lot of people have been asking, how is it I intend to do this business while using the technology, like an app, like a system? So this is me giving you the glimpse of it, right? You see, I have all 206 items. So these are 206 pickup points, right? Now, I'm not going to focus on what they mean, but what I need you to focus on is going to be these two tabs: is active and is potential pickup, right? Because what you're going to see, let me go back to Visual Studio. I'm going to open activating route. It's just a simple C# file, right? And in this class, right, as you can see, public class activate route, right? I have a global variable for iLogger, right? And then I have a constructor where I'm setting up the logger, right? And I'm using this a method where I'm decorating it using attribute function and give it the name activate route. I like to keep this guy with the name of the class to be consistent, right? And then this is the method that says public void run. That's how you declare Azure function, right? So then I have my timer trigger. So if you're wondering what kind of trigger I'm using timer trigger. And I have my info, right? We'll talk about this guy. This is the most important guy that you'll ever understand, especially how my system is engineered, right? So this is gonna run Monday to Saturday, not Monday to Sunday. One represent Monday until Saturday. And this is gonna run every day, 3:30. And I wanna be clear about that. It's gonna run every day except Sunday. I don't need to do anything on Sunday because Sunday we're not open for business. So this is Monday to Saturday at 3:30. And I'll explain why that is important. So then I use the logger to say log information. Azure function trigger is about to be executed at that particular time, right? Then I'm using HTTP client, right? Now, HTTP client is going to help me to talk to my web API, right? So, firstly, I'm extracting the day of the week. So currently, today it's Wednesday, right? Wednesday. So this is going to be Wednesday. And then what I'm saying is, JSON, you're going to convert and serialize this day of the week, right? Well, I'm going to use the JSON converter to serialize the day of the week, and I'm going to put the value on JSON. And then I'm going to make sure that that is known by string content, right? And on the content itself, right, I'm going to say headers, content type. This is going to be application JSON, right? Then I'm going to say task.run asynchronously. So what I'm doing is awaiting. I'm going to use that HTTP client. I'm going to post. What I'm posting, this has the address and everything, right? What I'm pushing to this particular address on the web API endpoint is going to be day of the week, right? And I'm gonna say, well, using the log information, Azure function trigger has finished at that particular time. So I need to know from what time to what time and how long it took. That is very important for me, right? And then the next timer scheduler. All right. So what I want you to focus on is when it's gonna execute and what it's gonna do. So what I'm passing here, I'm passing Wednesday. So this is what will happen. It's going to arrive to this project. So let's quickly go to the controller. You see I have a folder specifically for Azure Functions, and then I have a controller for Activate Route, right? So this guy is just an API controller, right? So what it expects, it does is this day of the week. Remember, I have serialized it on, let me keep this guy open. I have a serialized it, right? Using JSON converter, serializing that particular object, which is day of the week, and I'm passing it. So it's what's gonna be expected day of the week. Then I'm gonna say try. I'm gonna do part 2 of this guy because what's going on in here, it's quite the way I've engineered it's interesting, right? But let me just give you the glimpse. So I have there's a service, activate route service, right? So we need to go and look at this guy on part 2 of it. Okay, so just know that this guy expects, you see, day of the week, and as an object, not as a string. I know this value here is Wednesday, but we need to work with an object of type enum, which is a day of the week, right? Good. So stay tuned for part 2 and see how it flips everything. Do you understand? Why do I use Azure function, specifically timer trigger, Monday to Saturday, 3:30, only to send the day of the week? Why it's so important? So part 2 will reveal what's going on in this particular method. So this is what I want to show you when it comes to the pickups. If I search Wednesday, I don't need to type it like you see it's suggesting, but I'm just gonna click search. You see it filtered the result. Instead of 206 item, it returned 33. And what is the time? Time it's 5:36. So why this is important? That's a very good question. So I need you to pay attention to something. This guy, it's now active. Remember I said pay attention to 2 tabs, right? Or columns. So this is true. The value of its active is true. And the value of its potential, it's false. So why is it showing confusing results? This is why I need you to pay attention. Meaning that this guy, we're gonna be at the Freedom Square Cross, right? We're gonna be at, let me choose random. We're gonna be at this location, Thoughts Lounge. We're gonna be at VUCA Supply, right? Because all of them are active. So I have how many locations on that particular day, which is what, Wednesday, that are active? 11. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if it's gonna be active, that means we're gonna be there today on Wednesday. But this cannot be a potential pickup. There is an active route where we definitely want to be there on that particular day. But there's also a potential route, that means a potential pickup, where we are planning to be there sometime in the future. Hence, they cannot contradict themselves, like this particular one, which is Freedom Square Cross. We're going to be there, yes, but this is not considered as a potential pickup. Whereas if you look at this one, what is it? Nails by Kani. This one is in Brandwag. If you look at the address, right? So this one's gonna be in Brandwag, right? We are thinking of being there on this particular day, but this cannot be active, meaning that it cannot show on the map on the app. But this is gonna show on the map of the app, right? Good. So if I click on this guy, what you're gonna see is the route name. So I'm using the route name, hence I need Azure Function to send through what day of the week is. So like I said, it's Wednesday. So what it's gonna do, like I said, I'll show this on part 2. It's gonna look for all the routes that have a Wednesday. And once it finds them, what it's gonna do, like I said, wait for part 2. Good. So let me finish off with what's going on Azure Portal. So I do have Azure Function, right? It's currently running. And this is the guy. Activate route. But if I look at the metrics, let's see the metrics. The last hour. As you can see, the last hour, it fired. So this is the memory working set, it fired, and this is a function execution account, and this is in megabytes, milliseconds in megabytes, right? So here's the thing. The most important thing that I will know that this guy fired is a function execution count. So why did it not fire? Let me tap on this guy to get a bigger picture. Why did it not fire at 3:30? Let's go back. Why did it not fire at 3:30? Remember I told you, why was it not firing here? As you can see the time, there we go, 3:30 a.m. on January 8th, today, which is January 8th. But why did it not fire at 3:30? Instead, why did it fire at 30:30? As you can see, in fact, yes, exactly at 30:30. Why did it fire this time? It's because of I had to test this. Let me go back to activate route. The reason why I chose, this is 3:30. This is the local time in South Africa. But in Azure, because this is in America, this is a 2 hour. There's a 2 hour delay, so it's not gonna fire at 3:30. Instead, it's gonna fire at 5:30. I just have to instruct the Azure function, but as soon as I submit it and deploy it, because this is deployed Azure function, it executes 2 hour late. Hence, I had to go 2 hour earlier. Hence, you see there was an execution here at 30:30, exactly at 30:30, right? Because if we go, so this is in what? And last hour. But let's go let's say 30 days. And let's see, the last 30 days. This is too much. The last is 7 days. If you look at the last 30 days, let's go on the 2nd of January. It fired rather a bit late, 5:45. 5:45 seems like it becomes you see this one 5:15. Maybe it was delayed. I'm not sure, but that's the only explanation. This one 5:45 a.m. So it has a different timings. Remember, this is Azure function. It's something that sleeps, and once there is a trigger, it wakes up and it performs the task. Do you understand? So let's go further to the last, let's say 48 hours. Apply, and let's see on Tuesday. It fired 5:37 a.m. on Tuesday. So there was a delay there, whereas today Wednesday, yes, it did fire 5:36. Well, this is the report I'm getting. Do you understand? So this is how powerful it is. This is using Azure Functions to activate the route. I'm going to get deeper in part 2 on what's going on here. How does it flip? Because what it does is, let me cancel this guy. What it does, 206, let's go again to Wednesday, search. What it does, it flips this guy automatically without me being here. it activates on the particular, it activates. It makes sure that it activates the right one. Stay tuned for part 2. This may be confusing, but wait for part 2 because we're going to dive deeper into what's going on here after we receive day of the week. All right, until next time. Thank you.